Good morning, everyone. Let's get started. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. And our motto is, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. So good morning. Welcome to everyone in the room. And welcome to everyone on YouTube. Am I forgetting something? Okay. Everybody, let's stand and sing our first song. Dennis, come on up.
I'm sure we all know the words too. So Daniel name out song like this here. My place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I say, oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. 'Cause I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Y'all know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. 'Cause I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Say it with me here. Well, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. That's right. My soul is welcome here. Say my soul is welcome here. Say it. My soul is welcome here. 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 Here we go. I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome
Right. We are awake now. Thank you, Dennis. That was awesome. Good morning. Welcome to Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. My name is Diana Carolyn. I am your current Board of Trustees President, and today I am your platform hostess as well. And I'm honored to be your speaker and your MC today. We do have a couple of kids in the back. Oh, goody, and Katie's here. Thank you, Katie. So let's just rub our hands together and send good thoughts to our children, and good luck to Katie. So there are a few core principles on who we are. We are a supportive, inclusive spiritual community that celebrates life. We aspire to live authentic spiritual lives through practical application of the teachings of the science of mind. So we've summarized these into 4 high-level summaries of beliefs. Number one, all thought is creative and influential. Watch out what you think, because it happens. There is only good or bad. There is only God. Evil and devilishness starts and stops up here. Everything in our experience is a call for love or an expression of love. And you, every one of you, are whole, perfect, and complete, just as you are right now. So if you're here for the first or second time and you feel comfortable, can you raise your hand so we can just say hi to you? Hi, thank you. Did you get your goodie packet from Pat yet? Okay, excellent. All right. And is it the first Sunday of the month? Didn't think so. Oh, okay, I'm a week ahead. Sandy, you're going to come up and light our candle today. So we light this candle to celebrate the unity of all peoples, all faiths, all beings, all life, honoring the infinity of oneness as all creation, seen and unseen, to remind us of the light of spirit that's within all of us. If we can ever get the flame going. This is the hardest job right here. Thank you, Sandy. We are also a praying community, and there are lavender prayer slips in the seat back in front of you. So if you want to put a prayer, good, bad, grateful, put it in the wooden box over by the door, and our practitioners do pray on these every week. And if you're joining us virtually, you can go to our website, sierracenter.org, and click on spiritual support, and there's a prayer request, and one of our practitioners, they will reach out to you and pray with you. We love doing that. At this time, I'm going to invite Virginia, to come up and do our announcements.
Bonnie's like, what? So hi there, my name is Virginia, and today's announcements are here. So we are taking teens to camp. Sierra Center for Spiritual Living received grant money to help send teens 13 to 18 to camp in Oregon. It's going to be July 11th through the 17th, and we still have 2 scholarships available. So if you have anyone in mind, see Rev Mitch. And do you have a heart for guiding young people on their spiritual journey? We're seeking a children's church program coordinator to lead and grow our Sunday children's program. If this sounds like you or someone you know, reach out to Rev Mitch at sierracenter.org for more info. And stick around after service for vase decorating workshop with Lisa Bone. $25 per person. All materials are provided with that. And Dennis is going to come up and speak to that, I believe.
Lisa is my wife.
Oh, you don't need that. That's right.
Lisa's my wife. She's having some stomach issues. She was up late last night, so she's driving. We live in West Sacramento, so it's a bit of a drive to get here. So I got here early, but she will be here. And the faces are wonderful. You can see that it's decoupage, which is basically you take the glass vase and you glue paper to it, and you glue different flowers and stuff to it, and it's really beautiful. It works really well. You'll definitely take home something you'll appreciate. She does these classes all over the place, so she gets good responses. So if it's something you want to. It's a great gift to even share with someone. So thank you so kindly.
All right, thanks, Dennis. All right, Greg Joseph, a Master International Healer, is going to be coming to Sierra Center Friday, June 12th, and he's going to do a free talk and Q&A session from 4:30 to 6 p.m. that day. Private sessions are available with him by appointment. And then the rummage sale has been scheduled for June 27th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be on the corner of Brunswick and Maltman, 133 Brunswick Road. It's a great way to declutter and give back. Thank you for your support, and please sign up to help. We'll need some supporters out there, and we could use your help. There is a sign-up sheet on the round table for those interested in the dynamic laws of prosperity led by Rev Julia. We're collecting everyone's availability to help choose times and days that work for everyone. And then save the dates for these upcoming events. Take a look at those, see if those are of any interest to you. And now, help me welcome to the stage Allison. Wait, hold on. Allison, are you here? Bischofberger. Yay. From Community Beyond Violence and our community tithe recipient for April, who will come up and tell us a little bit about the organization.
Hi, thank you all for having me. My name is Allison Bischofberger. I'm the Executive Director of Community Beyond Violence, and we serve victims and survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault in Western Nevada County primarily. To put it simply, at the heart of the work that we do is something I think that you all share, which is the belief that everybody deserves dignity, respect, and someone to be with them, especially in their moments of most vulnerability. And then especially also when life feels uncertain or frightening, which it often does in the wake of an assault or if someone is dealing with violence in their home. We have been serving Western Nevada County for decades, since 1978. We have a 24/7 crisis line. We provide emergency shelter. We also provide personal advocacy and accompaniment. We sit with people in hospitals, in courtrooms, even sometimes just in silence if they're dealing with something really heavy and they just need someone to be with them in that moment. We also work with young people in schools. We give presentations on healthy relationships and what that looks like, helping young folks to recognize red flags. Sometimes young people who grow up in homes where there is a lot of violence or abuse or dysfunction don't even know what a healthy relationship looks like, and they don't have a model for that. So we help to teach them those tools to hopefully end the cycles of violence in these people's families. And the reality is that domestic violence and sexual assault exist in every community. That includes Nevada County. It often is something that happens in quiet, in shame, behind closed doors. So the more we know and the more we speak out about it, and the more we do outreach like this to folks in our community to let people know what services are available, the better things are. I want to just share a brief story to kind of give a sense of what the work we do looks like. We worked with a woman. She came to us. She was actually referred by a community partner in the wake of experiencing a violent incident in her home. She had been married for a really long time. The relationship had probably always been unhealthy, but things had really escalated as both she and her partner were experiencing some health issues and she needed increased care. She wasn't sure what she wanted to do next. She wasn't really ready to leave her relationship. She wasn't ready to leave everything she knew behind, her home. She had pets. And she also had several medical conditions that made it difficult for her to live independently and also made it so that she was even more dependent on her husband. She was really just feeling scared, overwhelmed, trapped, honestly, and looking to make sense of what had happened. And then there wasn't a quick solution. There wasn't a clear path forward. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we were able to solve all of her problems for her over the phone or even over the course of the next few days or weeks. But what we could offer was presence. We could offer validation and understanding, and we could listen and help her understand her options. So what we did in that circumstance is really work to connect her with other community resources who could offer more support so that she felt less alone, felt more like she had support and options if she chose to leave or even if she chose to stay. Sometimes what we do looks like safety planning and helping people, even though we know they're going to stay in an environment that's not healthy, we can at least give them options and we can give them the knowledge that, if they want to make a change, that there's someone there that can help them with that. And over time, that support made a difference. And it wasn't, again, because we fixed anything. It was just because she didn't feel alone and she didn't feel ashamed anymore of what was happening. So we've seen time and again that when survivors have access to support, whether that's a safe place to stay, or an advocate by their side, or simply someone who believes them, that their ability to move forward safety and healing increases dramatically. I'm going to stay, and so if anyone has more questions after the fact about what we do and the services we can offer, I've also left some brochures over there and some folders that have more information about the support groups that we offer and the cycle of violence, and anything you might want to share if you happen to know someone in your life who maybe needs our services. I'll be here after that too. So thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Allison. That's an incredible service. All right. So info and flyers are for all the classes and events. The sign-up sheets are in the foyer. And you can find Zoom links and details about more about the announcements in our weekly e-newsletter and on our website, sierracenter.org. And always just a friendly reminder to silence your cell phones. Thank you.
Thank you, Virginia. Please help me welcome to the stage Dennis McBride again.
So in 1970, this song was written. It was a popular song, and I remember the hearing this a few months ago, and I went, "Wow, that'd be a great song to introduce to the free thought community with a few changed words." So I changed, because originally the song was written about two people standing together, and I think as a community we can stand together. So if you remember the chorus, please sing it with me. There's nowhere in the world that I would rather be than with you, my friends. There's nothing in the world that I'd rather see than your smile, my friend. For united we stand, divided we fall. And if our backs should ever be against the wall, we'll be together, you and For united we stand, divided we fall. And if our backs should ever be against the wall, we'll be together, you and Y'all know what I'm saying? If the world around you falls apart, my friends, I will still be here. The going gets too hard along the way. Reach for love and God will heal. For united we stand, divided we fall. And if our backs should ever be against the
Dennis. Awesome. Awesome. I'm going to invite Rev Lanny up tonight, our practitioner of the day. Come on up, Lanny. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. All right. This is from the Science of Mind textbook, 1938 version. And in our Thursday class, where we go through the Science of Mind magazine, it's all about doubt and faith. And so the whole teaching of Jesus was based on the theory that we are surrounded by an intelligent law, which does unto each as he believes. He implied the necessity of faith, conviction, and acceptance. That is, it must be measured out to us according to our own measuring. We must not only believe, we must know that our belief measures the extent and degree of our blessing. If our belief is limited, only a little can come to us, because that is as we believe. We call this the law of mental equivalence. How much life can any man experience? As much as he can embody. There is nothing fatalistic about this. We are so constituted that we can continuously increase our embodiment. We grow in grace, as it were. We grow in power, and theoretically, there should be no limit to that growth. But right today, we can expect to demonstrate or have our prayers answered according to our belief and the embodiment of that belief. So I'm going to ring our chime. We will then do an Om, which is not just a symbol, but it's a sacred sound resonating with the creator of the universe, perhaps the resonance of the Big Bang, as they say. So we will breathe in when I ring the bell, and then we will do an Om. We will do that 3 times, and then we'll go into a meditation, and I will bring us out with an affirmative prayer. How very good it is once again to remember that there is just one power, one presence, one universal intelligence that is present in all of creation. All of those vibrations that we identify as love, as joy, as harmony, as peace, as grace, as beauty, as truth, all of it available in that infinite energy and intelligence that is everywhere. So I know it's right here, right now. Each one of us is an incarnation of that one source, that one energy, that one life. Here to bring our unique gifts to life, to open to inspiration, to open to the love we are and the love we have to give in the unique way that we have to give it. And so I know that this time together today is blessed, that we are uplifted by the talk by Reverend Kay, by the music, by our interaction with one another as we recognize our oneness and our ability to give of those gifts and to receive the gifts of others and to continue in that wonderful circular giving and receiving that is life itself. And so I'm grateful for all the good that I know is unfolding by means of us today and by the beneficial presence that each of us are. And so with gratitude for this realization, for this continuing expansion of our faith in our own goodness and our own ability to spread that goodness out into the world with love and joy, I release this word into that law of life that accepts it and says yes and makes it so. And we affirm this together as we say, and so it is. And now we will have another song from Dennis.
So, similarly, a few weeks ago, I was introduced to this song I had never heard before. It is a Michael Jackson song. And the choir, I go to the CSA in West Sacramento, and somebody in the choir said, let's do this song. And I go, I didn't know it. So they started singing it, and I was like, oh my goodness, I love this song. So I taught it to myself and said, well, I should introduce it into my show. And it's something I love doing because I love both the melody and the words. There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love in this place. Be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you. by its soul, it's plain to see. The world is heavenly, we gotta be God's glow. We can fly so high that our spirits never die. In my heart, I feel that you are my family. Create a world with no fear. Together we'll cry happy tears. See this nation turn their swords into plowshares. There are ways to get there if we care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. 'Cause there are people dying. If we care enough for the living, we'll make a better place for you and for me. We'll make a better place for you and for me. Make a better place for you and for me.
Let's give it up again for Dennis McBride. Thank you for making the drive up here, sharing your gifts with us. Woo. Well, welcome to a rare 5th Sunday. We're at the end of May. It's also a blue moon. We're giving Rev Mitch a day off. All of the really good things. Please turn to someone and say, I'm so glad you're here today. 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 All right. I love the energy in the room. I think I always lose you guys when I tell you to talk to each other. Ah. All right, so all month long we have been exploring doubt from different angles, and that's where we get this beautiful image here with all the question marks, because we're looking at doubt. And in week 1, we looked at how doubt can be an opportunity. And then in week 2, we talked about how doubt can be a message and an urge to pivot in a new direction. And then in week 3, we began opening to a new way of looking at oneness. And then last week, we talked about questioning everything. And this week, we're going to continue that conversation by looking at doubt as a path to possibility. Are you guys with me? All right. It didn't sound convincing. Are you guys with me? Yes. All right, there we go. And so specifically today, we're talking about divine doubt. And Rev Mitch set us up really well last week when he talked about all those little doubts that can lead us to question things. And as we start to question things, we start to question that life is for us. Is this true? Is life really always conspiring for my good? And we start to question that there's always enough. And then if we keep going down that rabbit hole, we start to question that we belong, and we even question if we matter. And so this is that toxic doubt that starts to spiral around us, and it's so easy to get into that little hamster wheel in our head, starts to just roll around, and all of those doubts then become beliefs. And we can find ourselves, if we continue down that spiral, feeling hopeless, helpless, lost, and completely disconnected. And the danger of feeling disconnected is that we're then disconnected from our source. And we begin to lose faith. And so as I started to prepare for this talk, what struck me is a quote that Rev Mitch actually shared last week, and I wanted to remind us all of it again. The opposite of doubt is not faith, it's certainty. Let that one sink in for a minute. The opposite of doubt isn't faith, it's certainty. Because that toxic doubt can make us certain that our relationship is going to fail. We're certain that that company is going to go bankrupt. We're certain we're never going to have any money, that our health will never recover. We're certain we're always going to have to work hard to get ahead, that nothing is ever easy, and certain that we're just not enough. In this way, that certainty becomes our own limiting factor. And it can literally shut down any inquiry, and it leaves us no room for growth or change. It's like drawing a hard line on the sand and saying, I'm going to stand right here, and you can't change me, you can't make me. And I feel like I hear my little girl in there going, you can't make me, I'm going to be right here. But our adult self knows that it takes that growth to create the change. Faith, by contrast, is the capacity to stay present no matter what. We have to lean into that mystery of life, even when there is discomfort. And I would say especially when there is the discomfort from the not knowing. Anybody else love not knowing? No, I don't love not knowing. I want to have a map that shows me how everything is going to work out. This is exactly the path that I can take. But, that doesn't always work out. Life tends to laugh at me when I try to make plans, because the truth is that we have to surrender into the possibilities. We get to be on the ways and means committee, but not on the how committee for our life. I know y'all have heard me say that several times now. So as we look at how to play with doubt in a different way on these paths to possibility, our first one is to doubt the certainty of our current state. Now, mind you, I didn't say deny it. We don't want to bury our head in the sand, or there's something called spiritual bypass you'll hear people talk about, where it's like, nope, I'm not looking at that. It's not the truth. It didn't happen. They don't talk about it. It doesn't exist. Guess what? It still exists. We have to embrace it. But we can doubt that this is our end point. We can doubt that this is all there is. And I think that when I was working in the hospital as an RN bedside, that the children who were there waiting for heart transplants were just the best example of this. They don't focus on the problem. They accept it. They know they're like, yeah, my heart's failing. And they know that that's going to be an issue. But they're leaning into the solution. And so you'll hear them say, I have a bad heart, but it's okay. I'm on the transplant list. And you know what? When I get my heart, I'm going to run a marathon, and I'm going to go play football. And they think about and dream about all of those possibilities that are going to happen after they receive that heart. And I started thinking about that, and I thought, what would happen if we did that with everything in our lives that we wanted to change? What if every time we were in a situation that we didn't like what it was, that instead of focusing on it and affirming it and going, this really sucks, I don't want to be here, that we leaned into the possibility? Because what we focus on, we affirm. We don't want to affirm the experience, this human experience that we're having, because we know that we're so much more, that there is a spiritual truth behind everything. And as Diana reminded us this morning, our thoughts are things. And so we can co-create a new reality if we lean into that possibility, where we accept the condition and realize this is only the starting point. This is not the end of my destination. I may not like what's showing up, but this is just something I'm going through. Ernest Holmes invited us to look at a wrong condition with the knowledge that we can change it. To look at a wrong condition and remain open to the possibilities. Just like that child waiting for a heart. We can have faith and claim our good and know that it's already ours by divine birthright. Because we know that we are each little tiny drops of God having this human experience. And then we can have expectancy and expect that our lives are getting better. We can expect that the universe is always conspiring for our good. Ernest Holmes says, we don't receive what we ask for. We receive what we expect. Ooh, that's a big one. And this is a place that I find sometimes we get stuck. Because a lot of times we're praying for health or wealth or the new house or the baby or the new partner or anything else. But after we pray, we think it's going to take a miracle. That's never going to happen. And if you're thinking that, if there's even one little seed that's in your head that's thinking, there's no way, you get to be right. You get to receive what you actually think. And then we're placing limitations on ourselves. And I know sometimes well-meaning friends and family will add to these limitations, and it's something to be aware of. And sorry, Mom, I'm going to tell a story about you. When I was in nursing school, my mom asked me, where do you want to work? What do you want to be when you grow up? It's the grown-up version. She said, where do you want to work as a nurse? And I said, I want to work at the children's hospital. And I was in Arizona at the time, and there was one children's hospital. That was it. And so my mom is somebody who loves to have plans. We used to get spreadsheets when we'd go on vacation for things. And everything was booked out. And then she likes to have a backup for the plan. And so naturally she said, well, but KJ, what are you going to do if you don't get hired? And I looked at her and I said, that's not an option. And she looked at me with the strangest look on her face, like, how can you not have plans? But I wasn't going to claim that limitation. Now, I will admit that I didn't just pray and go, that's coming to me. I had to really move my feet and I had to do a couple of things, but I got that job. I didn't doubt the limitation, and that was exactly where I worked. And so I invite you to doubt your limitations. We are the only ones that can create those limitations. And we can just as easily create possibilities. One of my favorite examples of this is Christopher Columbus. In his day, people thought that the earth was flat. But he didn't let that limited thinking stop him. He doubted that that was the case. And he believed with every fiber of his being that if he leaned into the possibility that the earth was round, that he could sail and he wasn't going to go off the edge. And aren't we so glad that he did? We literally would not be in this room today. And I just love that leaning into the possibility and opening up to it. In one of my favorite books by Ernest Holmes is The New Design for Living. And in that book, there is a really long passage, and it's a little bit longer than just a quote, but I want to share the whole thing with you this morning. He says, limitations are always easy to establish. In fact, too easy. Every time we reflect on our inability to do or accomplish something, we're setting up an increased barrier to the doing or accomplishing. He goes on to say that every time we have an alibi for undesirable results that we want to achieve, we are firmly establishing that alibi as the limiting factor for future activities. I won't read the whole passage, but he ends it by saying, we have filled our lives with too many can'ts. Think about that one for a minute. Every time we reflect on our inability to accomplish something, we're actually raising the bar, raising the barrier to the doing or accomplishing, just because we're focusing on it, because we're reflecting on it. And we're filling up our life with can'ts. I can't do that, but I can't because of this, and I can't. And but you don't understand. I was raised, but I can't because, but you don't understand. I'm from. And you can hear all of those limited beliefs that keep us stuck because can'ts trap us in our own minds. Growth happens when we start to unwind those limitations. You've heard me say before that sweet spirit can only do for us what it can do through us. So what if when we were looking at our limitations that we remembered the truth of who we are and that we're willing to step through that and lean in to that unknown possibility because we know that if we limit ourselves, that what we're actually doing is limiting this beautiful expression of the divine that we each came to be. Each and every one of you have gifts. You're here to be a part of this world, and it's together as we weave this beautiful fabric of life together that we're up-leveling life itself. It takes each one of us. But we've got to get out of our can't. Be willing to lean into that possibility and then allow that expression of the beautiful essence of God that you are to be seen and heard and fully embody it so we can continue to co-create this existence with the divine. I really believe that if everybody on earth did that, we'd be in a whole different place. And I know what I'm asking isn't easy because it will require surrender. Ooh, it's one of my favorite words. I used it this morning in our prayer circle. Surrender almost always means change. If you're anything like me, you don't really love change. Change can be kind of scary. We're back to me having my map. You can't have a map and change. Change leads us into that great unknown. It's like following a maze where you can't see around the next corner. And a lot of times we lean into fear from that, don't we? Because doubt can lead us into fear. But fear doesn't have to be a stopping place. And we can doubt the fear, but not the process. Who remembers what I said fear was an acronym for the last time I spoke? Anybody? It's been a while. Because we always come up with false evidence appearing real, but I wanted to reframe it. Feel everything and rise. Feel everything. Fear is a moment to pause and to listen. You're going to feel the fear, feel everything, and rise. Don't allow it to close you down. Don't allow fear to be that rigid line in the sand where you're like, nope, can't. I'm going to stay right here. Anybody remember the old story, Who Moved My Cheese? Yeah, it's a cute one about two little mice, and they had all this cheese, and they'd go and they get their cheese, and they come back, and they only had to put one foot out, and they get their cheese. And then one day the cheese was gone, and they were like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And one of the mice was like, well, we're going to have to go on an unknown journey. We're going to have to go. And they was like, no, what if something bad happens out there? And the other one said, but it'll come back, it'll come back. And they waited, and they got hungrier and hungrier. And the one little mouse kept to the I can't, it's not safe out there. And the other mouse is like, oh, I'm going to go check it out. And he trucked down the thing, and he went around the corner, and he found a new kind of cheese that was even better than the one they'd been eating before. And he never would have found it if he wasn't willing to take the risk. And in that, what I want to say is that in our own lives, to bring that into a spiritual perspective is continuing to stay open at the top. That can be in our own lives as well as in this teaching. That everything, life itself, this teaching, every person we meet, we're all on this continual path of unfoldment. We're never going to be done. The universe is never finished. We're always continuing to reinvent and grow and become more of the essence of the goodness of, if you call it God or universe or wholeness that we are. So don't follow the fear, but instead trust the process. That process is that path to possibility. And so you all know I love a good story, and I found one that represents this really well. And so I want to talk about my friend Mendel. Mendel was a tailor, and he had just started his new business, and he was really worried. Oh, and he was down to his last $50, and he had to make a decision between getting a sign and buying food for his family. And he was like, oh, I don't know what to do. And so he decided to pray for guidance. And he said, God, I don't know what to do. If I buy the sign, it might bring in business that would help me to feed my family, but I need to buy groceries now. And if that sign doesn't work, if I don't get sales, we might starve. And God said, Mendel, buy the sign. Lean into the possibility. Don't worry, your family won't starve. And so Mendel trusted the process, and he bought the sign. And his business took off, and he was very pleased, and the tailor fed his family very well. However, as time passed, it became to be very evident to him that he couldn't keep up with all of the orders all by himself. And so he thought about hiring a helper. But again, he wondered, can I afford this? What if I can't pay them? Being a religious man, he once again asked God if getting help would be a prudent move. Go ahead, God said. Hire some help. You'll do okay. Claim and trust that this is your good. And so Mendel took a breath, and he did, and the business took off beyond his wildest dreams. After a time, Mendel decided he needed to move to a larger site. He couldn't accommodate all of the growth and all of the demands for his business. So he started to look for new locations, and he found this perfect storefront. But the retail price was really steep. God, Mendel prayed again, I found the perfect place to relocate, but the cost of the lease worries me. I'm afraid of getting in over my head. Go ahead. Get the lease on the store, Mendel, said God. Trust me. You'll be okay. I haven't steered you wrong yet, have I? And so Mendel took a deep breath, and he signed the lease on the Fifth Avenue store, and the profits for his business went through the roof. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Mendel proposed to the Almighty that he dedicate the store to him as he thought about changing it to a new name. And he said, how about we call it Yahweh and Mendel, the tailor asked. No, God said. Let's call it Lord and Taylor. Yeah. Now, I don't really know if that's how the $1 Million Clothing Store was formed. And I do realize that things have changed a lot since then. But I think this story arc does a really good job of providing an example of leaning into the possibility, of doubting the fear and trusting the process. And isn't that right where we're at here at the Sierra Center? That we're looking at all of those possibilities, and where do we go from here, and how do we up-level? And so can we keep this story in the backs of our mind as we moved through this process? And can we learn both here as a center, as the body of this beautiful thing that we call Sierra CSL, as well as in our own lives, to allow, to let fear calm down and allow faith to speak louder than our fear. Fear is still going to be there. It's always going to be there. But we get to decide if we want to feel the fear and do it anyway. We don't have to allow it to stop us, to limit us. Because fear makes us certain that everything is impossible. And instead, we can look at fear and say, feel everything and rise. So this week, I'm going to challenge you to play with these pathways. See doubt as a sign that you are growing or outgrowing old beliefs and old ideas, and start playing with those ideas. Are those beliefs you're holding limitations? Or are they things that support you? And get really curious about that. And then trust that the infinite ground of all being, that eternal possibility is there with you. We can doubt the certainty of our current state and stay open to those possibilities. Doubt the limitations and begin to see fear and doubt as doorways into deeper wisdom. And all of this will take us into practicing having an active faith. Ernest Holm defines active faith of not having a faith in God, but the faith of God. So as we continue walking this path, can we surrender and trust the process? Know that there are no limitations other than the ones we are placing on ourselves. And then let's walk this path to possibility together and watch as our lives change for the better. Thank you. All right, so we have an affirmation. I'm going to say it once and then invite you to say it with me. Short and sweet and to the point. I let go of false limitations and lean into the possibilities and trust sweet spirit to bring only good into my life. Let's stand and we'll say that together. I let go of false limitations, lean into the possibilities, and trust sweet spirit to bring only good into my life. And so it is. Yes, and so it is. All right. And so now we'll move into our time of conscious giving. And so I invite you to take your gift in your hand. There are lots of ways that you can give. You can do good old dollars or checks. You can scan. There's a QR code that'll pop up here in a minute. You can scan the QR code. You may also see some Ernie bucks in the room, and those are for people who are auto tithers. And so however you choose to give, giving back if you've been fed by anything at the center. And we just repeat this prosperity affirmation together. I give this gift with love and joy from a consciousness of abundance. Divine love blesses and prospers all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And so we just bless every gift and every giver, knowing that money too is the energy of love. It is the energy of the divine in action, going out to support this center, all of the services here, and this community and beyond. And so I just give thanks for all of the possibilities, knowing that the highest and best is already out picturing here and now. So simply call it good and very, very good. And so it is. All right. Ooh. And so I want to thank everybody that it took to put on the Sunday service. And so I want to thank Shauna and Pat for being our ushers. I'll invite Sandy for being our candle lighter. We had Virginia for our announcements, as well as streaming tech, Virginia and Shauna. And sound, Sharon. I don't know who placed the sign this morning. Woohoo! That would be Chana as well. Our minister of the day, Rev Lanny, who's available for prayer after church too. Real loud for Katie in Children's Church. Really appreciate her stepping in at the last moment to help us out. Our platform host, Diane, wherever she has ended up. And last but certainly not least, Dennis McBride for our music today. Yeah, wonderful. So what are you taking away from our experience together today? Possibilities. I love it. Yeah, that's a good one. What else? Happiness. Leaning in. Opening to receive. Gratitude. I love it. All right. Beautiful. Well, let's see if we can't invite our kids in.
I'm glad you came.
Uh-oh, I think we were ahead of them. I see them. They're scrambling. We're getting there. Here they come. Yay! Woo, woo, woo. And we're losing one. Did you paint a beautiful picture? Yay! Oh, that's beautiful. Yes. Is there anything you want to tell us about today, or? Yes.
We talked about being brave today. Do you want to share with everybody how you were brave?
I climbed up the ladder and I helped the 2-year-old go down.
Aww, beautiful.
Brave? Yeah, how were you brave?
He's like, I want to hold that myself.
We didn't quite get there. Okay, we're going to hand this back to Rev K, okay?
Do you want to say what you were? How are you brave? Okay, perfect. That's beautiful. Thank you. He was brave enough to consider telling us what was on his mind. Yeah. Okay.
6, 7.
Okay. Please stand for our benediction. Thank you so much, Katie. Yeah, you can pick it. All right, go ahead and stand for our final benediction here. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. It is this thing called leaning in. It is this thing called surrender. It is this thing called possibility. I know it. I feel it. I sense it. Because I am it. And so it is. All right, Dennis, you want to take us away for our final song?